Hello there, Little Gnome with Little Gnome Stories. And today's stories are dedicated to Imogen Flanagan, aged 3, Dylan, aged 4, Oliver, aged 3, and Henry, who is, well, he's naught. He's 6 months, so he's very young. Now, all 4 of you have been very, very good. Imogen, you've been very good. You've tried to amuse yourself and you've done very, very well. Oliver and Dylan, you've been very good boys for me, and you've helped with your little brother too, I see. So thank you very much from me and all the other gnomes. And now, today's story. Like all stories do, it's once upon a time. Deep in the heart of Boogiewood, there was a woodcutter who had 2 children, Hansel, the boy, and Gretel, the girl. Well, they tried very, very hard. They could do maths, English, reading and writing, and they did little jobs around the house for their father. And they were very kind children. But they had one naughty little trait. That means like a habit. They would go into the wood a little bit further than they should. Now, they never got lost, but their daddy worried about them. So what he suggested was, I suggest you take a crust of bread and drop little pieces of bread along the trail. Then when you run out of bread, you've gone far enough, and follow the trail back. Brilliant idea. And this the children did for several weeks, until one week they were laughing and joking and playing, and Hansel forgot he'd run out of bread. And to make matters worse, there was a flock of crows that had seen the breadcrumb trail and flown down and eaten all the bread. So when they finally stopped and tried to see where the trail was, well, they couldn't find it because there wasn't one. Oh dear, Hansel said. Let's look a little further until we find a house and see if they can direct us back to our house in the Boogiewood. And this they did. And it wasn't long before they came upon a house that was amazing. Oh, it had chocolate sticks for window frames and the door. It had chocolate slates. All the bricks were made out of chocolate. Marshmallow, Rocky Road, Twixers, Mars bars, Milky Ways, fudge. You name it, and it was there. Well, they were very tired and very hungry, so they couldn't resist. They tried some off the wall. Oh, Gretel, it's amazing. You should try it. So both of them tried a little bit, and a bit more, and then, and they stuffed themselves so much they fell asleep. Hansel was the first to wake up. He couldn't stretch his arms out, for he was in a cage suspended from the ceiling. Gretel, Gretel, wake up, wake up. And as Gretel woke up and she stretched too, she found around her leg was a chain fastened to the wall. What's happening? Said Gretel. I don't know, said Hansel. They noticed then that there was a lady stood at the sink. She spun round quickly. Did you think you were going to eat my lovely house and get away with it. I'm a witch, and you two are now mine. Oh no, said Hansel. What are you going to do with us, said Gretel? Don't you worry. Do not worry. Gretel, you're going to cook and clean for me. And I am going to feed your brother the most delicious buns, cakes, and chocolate delights he's ever had. Why are you looking after me so well? Asked Hansel. Well, I'm fattening you up because I'm going to eat you. Well, Hansel's mouth dropped wide open. Gretel said, what am I going to do? Oh, you're going to just do as you're doing. Washing, cleaning, and don't worry, because when I've eaten your brother, I'm going to gobble you. Oh, she was a nasty one. That's because she was a witch. Oh, she was a bad un. This went on for several weeks, and Hansel and Gretel kept scratching their heads thinking how they could get away. But with a chain around her leg and him in a cage, and the key that unlocked the chain was always around the witch's waist. What a predicament they were in. One day, the witch said, build up the fire inside the oven, Gretel. I'm rather hungry today, and today's a day that I'm going to make Hansel into a pie. Well, this terrified Hansel and Gretel, but she did as she was told. Tell me when the fire is hot enough. Yes, witch, said Gretel. And then, bing, an idea came into her head. Okay, witch, I'll tell you when I'm ready. And she stoked up the fire, chucking more and more logs on. Oh, it was hot and blazing. Witch, is the oven hot enough? Oh, do I have to do everything? Said the witch. She leant forward and opened the grate. All you have to do is look at the flames to see if it's ready. Well, I've never cooked before, said Gretel. Oh, move out the way. And she leant forward. Are you sure you can see from that distance? Yes, of course I can, said the witch. Gretel said again, I really think you need to get closer. I'll get closer. Come with me and hold my hand, and I will show you what colour the flames need to be their hottest. And she leant over into the oven. At that moment, Gretel grabbed hold of the key, yanked it off her belt, and with a mighty whoosh, she whacked the witch on her bum. The witch flew into the oven, and Gretel quickly slammed the door shut, dropped the look over, and waited. It wasn't long before there was a boom. There was dust that flew all over their house, and it took a long, long time to settle. There was a lot of yeah. But when the dust settled, the house had changed. it was no longer there. There was no cage. There was no hanging from the beam. There was no chocolate. There were just two very, very lucky children. "Run, Gretel, run!" And they held each other's hand and began to run through the buggy wood. All of a sudden they could hear something in the distance. "Hansel, Gretel, Hansel, Gretel, Hansel, Gretel, where are you?" It was their father shouting. "We're over here, father, we're over here," they both shouted. "Stay where you are and keep shouting," said their father, till finally he met up with them. They told him what had gone on with the witch and the house. And he said, "Well, I tried to warn you. You do not go into the woods without leaving a trail back. You have to be careful. There are lots of witches. There are lots of goblins. There's a lot of nasty creatures deep inside this wood. Will you promise me in future that you will take better care of each other?" "Yes, father," said Hansel. "Yes, father," said Gretel. And do you know what? From that day on, whenever they went out together, they tied a piece of string to the garden gate and went off. Then when they finished playing or going wherever they went, they would walk back, following the string. That's all for today. Now take good care of yourself, children. And from the little gnome, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.